Hi and welcome to this episode of LadyHeard. My name is Cegolene and I will be today's host, and I'm accompanied by Silvia.
Hello.
And Schaida.
Hello.
So today's episode was inspired by a documentary called Witches and was directed by Elizabeth Sankey. And she explores a lot of themes, but the one I choose is related to the following quote. Women are pitted against each other, the virgin, the whore, the maiden, the crown, the good and the bad witch. It is a narrative that is so successfully pervasive that we repeat it to each other. We police our sisters, our neighbors, our friends. So first of all, what do you think of this quote? Do you resonate with it? And do you tend to agree or not?
Inherently, society has been built on binary concept. I will start with that. And especially when it comes to women, it has been prone to use more degrading language and more extreme ways of describing this binary system, like, for example, the virgin and the whore. It was one of the examples mentioned here. This way has been used to shape generations of women's mindset who believe that, extreme is like a nun and a whore. We should not let society define us, nor find the level of sexual activities that a person does. I do agree that with the quote that this extreme vision has been very detrimental to the image of women and also to the solidarity between women.
Well, I think that it treats in a way as we were competing with each other all the time, and that's not good. I mean, it's not because someone is, I don't know, getting a better job or getting married or buying a house that we should think, okay, what about me? Am I getting behind? I think we also need to think about our qualities, the good things we have, and understand that people have different priorities, and it's not because they are, making those decisions, they're pretty much life-changing, that we should think about, okay, but what about me?
I fully agree with both of you. That we are putting in competition against each other, even in the mainstream media. So while I was searching about this subject, I found something I can't really say funny, but every year there is a multitude of articles about this year we need to stop pitting women against each other. But I don't think it ever really stopped. We still see a newspaper saying this singer is fighting with this singer. It's funny in a sense that the ones that continue to push this narrative are often the mainstream media. And we forget that those people are also humans, but they are also seen as entertainment. The danger of this narrative is that it's often nothing but storytelling, and the only people who know the truth are the people involved. However, we are not powerful or well-known women, at least not yet. So I want to discuss something that we have all felt at least once in our lives, and in my opinion it's one of the reasons we compete. Be it in a healthy way or not, it's envy. Ladies, would you be able to define envy?
I think envy is something that lacks in ourselves, and unconsciously we whether want from someone else or even admire, although we don't want to admit?
Well, envy is a strong word, first of all. It has a negative connotation to attach to it, for which it means that you really must hate a lot something in someone, or like you really wish that you were in someone else's place instead of them because of that, I don't know, status, job position, or whatever. These feelings is really consuming you. That's how I see envy.
I do agree with both of you, and Schaida, you say something really important. It's the notion of liking something. And I think it's really important to understand what envy is, because we sometimes think that it's jealousy and envy are the same when they're not. So, according to the Cambridge Dictionary, envy is a feeling that you wish you had something that someone else has, so there is a lacking aspect. And in psychology, envy is an emotion that occurs when a person likes another's superior quality, achievement, or possession, and either desires it or wishes that the other lacked it. It's a definition for Barrett Smith from 1993, which differ from jealousy that arises when you feel losing something or someone important. Like Silvia mentioned, envy has the reputation of a negative emotion, an emotion that we most of the time have to keep hidden. Like all emotion, however, it is natural to feel them, and I felt it multiple times when I met someone better than me. Back in school, when I was doing horse riding in my acting and improv class, I was thinking, I wish I were as good as they are. What do you think of this emotion, and have you ever felt it before?
To be honest, I don't think I've ever felt envy. It was probably more jealousy. But I do think that perhaps some people were envious of me because of some life achievements, or like maybe because of my way of expressing myself. For example, it hasn't been openly stated by anyone. I do think a lot of people that I know and that are not expats, as we all are, might feel envy towards the fact that, oh, how come she did it every time? You know, how come she managed to move into 5 countries and still like stay there without regretting her decision? I haven't personally felt a strong envy towards anyone.
I totally agree with Sylvia. First of all, of course, we're far from being perfect, but I'm happy and I feel fulfilled and I'm happy with my life, with my career, with everything. And well, when you're happy, usually kind of bother people, especially those who feel like there is still something missing in their life. So first. Second, I can relate also with what Sylvia said regarding this moving to one place and another, because in my case, I'm pretty much what I would call a foreign citizen, in the sense that, okay, I am Italian, but I was born and raised in Brazil. And coming from so far, literally the middle of nowhere, a small town, and achieving the things that I achieved, and I say this humbly because there was a lot of sacrifice in there, you know? It was not easy. Do you really wish you were wearing my shoes? If you knew everything that I've been through, I'm not so sure about that. First, and second, also the fact that, how can I explain this? It's complicated because people, I felt that, especially when I was still living in Italy, some people didn't like the fact that I was getting to work for international organizations. And so I was qualified for the job, you know, otherwise, you know, I wouldn't be there. But the fact that they were born closer, right? The languages that I learned, they were mother tongue in those languages, and still I made it. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So I felt a lot of, you can call prejudice also, but envy definitely, because of those things, especially career achievements, I would say, that definitely involved a lot of sacrifice, a lot of resilience, a lot of perseverance, and well, of course, it's not because we're not posting about it on social media that we're not going through things, right? That was pretty much it for me, and I totally understand and relate with what Silvia said.
I really like the fact that you say those people, aren't in my shoes. They didn't see my sacrifices before. And it reminded me of a good quote that I saw in a YouTube video. I need to find it and I will show it on the video and in the credit because it's really good. And he said, I need to find his name again, but he said that I used to compare my one day to someone else 1,000 days, and it really echoes with me for my improv and my acting class, where I was comparing myself to people that had years of experience. Of course they were good, of course they had the skills that I did not. And so I think it's important that when you're comparing yourself, you need to learn a bit more of the background, because it's not fair for yourself to compare to someone that have so much experience. Of course you're gonna be bad next to them. So since it is an emotion and us humans are in a fascinating way really well made, it exists for a reason. In psychology, emotions are responses to events that are important to us. They allow our body to be ready for action to deal with bad events. So negative emotions like envy also have a role, an adaptive one. It is a way to protect us against a threat that attacks our self-view and perception of ourselves. This threat is often a person who is better off than us. So there is really a notion of self-esteem, and sometimes where you have a lower self-esteem and you tend to compare yourself to other people and you tend to denigrate your skill, you tend to feel more envy. So I don't know if you remember the definition earlier, but according to it, envy can lead to both a desire to have what the other has and or a wish that the other loses the advantages. Both of these tactics help us deal with what is attacking our self-view, but I'm sure you already know where I'm going. There is one that is better than the other. Which one do you think is the healthy tactic?
So if I were to say which one I think is healthier among the two definitions, definitely to maybe feel this little sentiment about, oh, this person has what I don't have, therefore I'm motivated to become as good as this person, but it's more like self-motivation. Like, if you feel the need to put somebody else's down, then I'm sorry, but you're a bad human.
Yeah, no, I agree with Silvia. If I had to choose between one of those, I would definitely go with the first option, to wish to desire what the other person have, because in that case it would be something more like I admire the person you're becoming, or your achievements, or whatever it is, and you use that to inspire you and become the best version of yourself. So, and also this thing, like why I didn't choose the second one, because if you want to be the best or become the best version of yourself, you need to compete with the best, or to live right next to them, right? Perhaps compete is not the word, more like to live with them, to learn from them and with them. I think that's probably the right way to think.
Yeah, and you're fully right. Since Aristotle, there has been a distinction between the two envies, and it continues to exist till our day. So the first that we talked about, and you were right, it's the healthy one, is called a benign envy. And it's related to the desire to have what the other has And it is a good type of envy because, like you say, it acts like a motivator. It's from something that you admire, so you want to have its capacity and its skills, so it will motivate you to work on those skills and to get better. So it's actually a good thing. And the other one, the bad one, is a malicious envy, and it's where you want the other to lose the advantage. It is a destructive emotion that is often accompanied by other negative emotions like resentment, feeling of unfairness, and instead of working on yourself to improve what you're lacking, you will focus all your energy in sabotaging and damaging another person, which is destructive for absolutely everyone. Did you change a tiny bit your mind on envy? Do you still think it's a negative emotion? Or can you start to see a good side to it?
If we take the last definition of it, it doesn't look as bad as initially was. Still, there's the other part that kind of reinforces the fact that it's a strong emotion indeed, and it can be destructive, both for the person that feels it and for the people that have to, let's say, face the consequences of it if there's an action that is caused by envy.
I wonder if this feeling that there is something missing in you can be something good at all. And because of this, because I think we should be able to feel complete. Okay, even if we don't have everything we always dreamed of, I think we should look at the bright side and be thankful and grateful for the things we have, the person we are becoming, the people we're becoming, let's say. And so the fact that you need to look at someone and understand that there is something missing in you, that there is something lacking in your life. I don't like this idea. So for me, it's hard to accept that envy can be something good. I understand the philosophical definition, and it's good. It's a good way to think of it. But in my opinion, I think envy can only be something bad.
It's totally fair. I think that lacking is a really strong word. For example, if we take like my improv class, as it's not about lacking something, it's just being a bit. I'm a newbie, so I don't have the skills. And so technically I'm not lacking, I just need to progress and to be motivated to learn more so I'm better and I can be on the same level as the people that I admire and envy. But lacking can be really... Yeah, I understand why you don't like the fact that you feel like you're lacking something. So
or that you need to lack something to,
but
get inspired,
Yeah. But I was thinking just in skill when you are learning something, if you're learning an instrument, you have your favorite like guitarist or anything and you're looking at him and you say, my God, I wish I would be like him, I wish I would be as good as him, and it's a sort of envy. It's not that you're lacking, it's just that you need to put on the same work that he did to be on the same level. I don't know if that makes sense. But I fully understand how you can still see it as a negative emotion. And I can still fully understand your point of view. I'm just trying to trying to give a better reputation to envy is a good one. So I think it's more for me and people that sometimes feel envy. But how do you think we can manage it? So we're not just gonna talk about envy, but about like kind of emotion in general. How do you manage your emotion?
I try to be conscious about it. Like, I'm feeling this. Okay, why am I feeling this? I feel triggered. Why am I so triggered? Because I heard something that was not even serious at all. It's something that we need to be, let's say, self-checking every now and then, because it's through our experiences that we get the chance to know each other better. And if we need the better we know ourselves, think the way we relate to ourselves and also to other people improves a lot. So I think that's it. I ask myself, like, why am I feeling this way?
I guess it depends on the emotion. Sometimes I have admit that what I'm feeling in that very moment. Like sometimes I need to listen to, I don't know, not even angry songs, but powerful songs that really resonate with you also in terms of lyrics. I know it's not about envy, because it's not about envy, nor the title, but it kind of connects to what we said before. So like there's Jealousy by Olivia Rodrigo, and I feel like she kind of depicts it quite well. So whenever I do feel maybe envy, in the sense like, oh, this person has something that I don't have, but still I want to feel motivated, I kind of use that song as a purification song for the envy, and to say, okay, like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this person might have this and that, but I also do have this and that. Or if I don't have XYZ, doesn't mean that I'm not gonna have them one day. And maybe this one day is nearer, and I think it is.
So for me, I totally agree with Schaida. I think for all emotions, the first step is to acknowledge them. And in our current society, I think it's harder to acknowledge an emotion that is deemed negative. But being aware that it exists is so important, because how can you learn how to manage something you do not acknowledge? And so this one is apparently only for me in, in this call. But I compare myself to others a lot, which is bound to create envy. So the secret, but it's a hard one for people that are more like me, is to focus on yourself and to acknowledge your strengths and what you already have. So what you say earlier, Schaida. Would you like to add anything? It can be about any other negative emotion or...
No, I just, as we were talking about it before, like, personally, it's hard for me to believe that there is good envy, but it can create perhaps a good impact if you take that and you use that to improve yourself. Like you admire the person, and it becomes some sort of a strength, a power, something that will motivate you to make you also get there, make you also achieve the things you want to achieve. But then it's you doing that for yourself, and not that to prove to anyone else that you can do it, or to show off, or whatever it is. You see, it's just like that for yourself because you wanted to. That's it.
I think if that's the case, like, to use the envy in a positive way, going back to the musical references, yes, sorry for putting that again, but you could transition from Jealousy to Bop to the Top by High School Musical and have a perfect song for motivation. Like honestly, that was such a game changer. You just need to hit the right notes and song sometimes, to
Yeah.
have also the extra little motivation. I mean, if it doesn't work for music, with you can use any other thing, like a motivational quote, whatever, but don't make it be too much about the other person, like, oh, what am I lacking and everything. Like, try to work on yourself to really say, like, okay, I want to be this person that does X, Y, and Z, or I want to be, I don't know, a better public speaking person, better at public speaking, or I want to be a better leader, I want to be a better marketer, whatever. But just use this initial idea to, like, look up to the other person, but not say, like, oh yeah, they're way better than me, I will never be like them. Because that doesn't help you in the long
Definitely.
term.
No, I think just block your way to achieving things, to becoming a better person, a better worker, a better anything. So yeah, first one is, I think, is to believe, and then perhaps work on your self-confidence.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
fully
like, okay,
agree.
if they made it, I can make it too. That's it.
Yeah.
As easy as that, right?
Yeah, I fully agree with the both of you, and I would definitely like keep it somewhere in my mind since I'm struggling a bit with self-esteem at time as well. I would love to
We're gonna
create
here to help
the.
you.
Thank you. It's my therapy now.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah. I just want to conclude that there are many more reasons as to why women are pitted against each other. And some of them, unfortunately, cannot be changed by ourselves alone, and it can be a bit depressing, especially in the current climate. That's why today I wanted to talk about envy, because it's something inherent to us, and we can improve it without the need to change our society, which is like 10 times harder. So I hope that you had a great time listening to this episode of LadyHeard. Thank you for spending some time with us. We will see you soon. In the meantime, please take care of yourself and the people around you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.